Asajj Ventress recently returned in The Bad Batch Season 3, being introduced to many fans for the first time. Much of her story has been told throughout the Clone Wars animated series, as well as some books and comics, but after many fans assumed she had died in the novel Dark Disciple, and rightfully so, they were surprised to see her return for the third and final season of The Bad Batch. For those who aren't familiar with the originally animated character from the Clone Wars, here's everything you need to know about the character going into the rest of The Bad Batch Season 3. Asajj Ventress was a Force-sensitive Dathomirian female who was, at various points throughout her life, a Night Sister, a Jedi Padawan, an assassin for the Sith, a commander in the Confederacy of Independent Systems military, and a bounty hunter. In the final decades of the Galactic Republic's reign, Ventress was born into a clan of magic-wielding Night Sister witches led by Mother Talzin on the planet Dathomir. When she was only a baby, her coven was forced to surrender her to the criminal Hasted, who spirited Ventress away from her sisters to the war-torn world of Reditak, where she was enslaved in his service. She was orphaned when her master was killed by Weequay pirates, but was later discovered by the Jedi Knight Kai Narek, who was stranded on Reditak and waging a battle against the pirate marauders. Narek raised Ventress and taught her to use the Force in the ways of the Jedi Order, and together they protected the populace of Reditak, and fought back against the predatory attacks of pirates and warlords. After a decade of helping the local population, Ventress was orphaned once more when Narek was killed by pirates seeking to end the Jedi's crusade on the world. Enraged by the loss and bereft of guidance, Ventress embraced the dark side of the Force, disposing the local warlords and ruling in their stead. She was ultimately captured while attempting to assassinate the warlord Ursika Kursk, who forced her to fight as a gladiator in his arena. She was eventually discovered by the Sith Lord Count Dooku, and entered his tutelage as an aspiring secret apprentice. When the Pan-Galactic Clone Wars erupted between the Galactic Republic and the Confederacy, Ventress rose to become one of the military leaders of its droid armies as a Dark Acolyte. Her exploits brought her into conflict with the Jedi Order, and she became renowned for her skill and cruelty as she waged war against the Republic. She frequently crossed lightsabers with Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, heroes of the Republic who were often assigned to counter Ventress's efforts. Although she was highly talented and saw success in the kidnapping of Rada the Hutt, the rescue of Nute Gunray, and the infiltration of the Republic fortress world of Kamino, Ventress was repeatedly forced to compete for her master's favor against military leader General Grievous. As the war progressed, Dooku's own master, Darth Sidious, became increasingly wary of Ventress's growing strength in the Force, and ultimately ordered Dooku to eliminate his apprentice in a show of loyalty. Dooku complied, and during the Battle of Sullust, betrayed Ventress and ordered her own forces to execute her. Left for dead, Ventress survived and clawed her way back to her homeworld of Dathomir to seek refuge and revenge. Mother Talzin and her coven welcomed Ventress back to their sisterhood, and together they conspired to kill Dooku. After a failed attempt to assassinate the Count, Ventress and Talzin moved to install a pawn of their own close to Dooku as his new assassin and apprentice. To that end, Ventress selected the Zabrak Knight brother Savage Opress to be gifted to Dooku and eventually to aid her in his murder. This plan also went awry after Opress betrayed both Ventress and Dooku and nearly killed them both. Resolving to make a new life for herself, Ventress returned to Dathomir to formally rejoin her clan and forego further plans for revenge, but Dooku would not have it. The Count targeted the Night Sisters for harboring his former apprentice, and dispatched Grievous and his droid army to massacre the Dathomirian witches. Mother Talzin and Ventress were among the few survivors of the slaughter, and were forced to separately flee Dathomir to escape Dooku's wrath. Ventress was deeply hurt by the loss of her newfound family, and so took to wandering the galaxy in search of a purpose, ultimately turning to bounty hunting, and finding a good measure of success in the business. This work forced her to adopt a series of unexpected alliances. She rescued Obi-Wan Kenobi from the clutches of the former Sith Lord Maul and Savage Opress, who had recently apprenticed himself to his renegade Sith brother, and she worked alongside Skywalker's apprentice, Ahsoka Tano, when Tano was falsely accused of bombing the Jedi Temple. Near the end of the Clone Wars, she encountered Quinlan Vos, a Jedi Master tasked with assassinating Count Dooku to end the war. Vos partnered with Ventress under the guise of a fellow bounty hunter, but ultimately revealed his identity and purpose after the two fell in love. Ventress trained Vos in Night Sister culture and dark-side techniques to prepare for assassinating Dooku, but their attempt on his life failed, and Ventress was forced to flee while Vos was captured. She eventually worked with Kenobi and Skywalker to rescue Vos, but months of torture at Dooku's hand had corrupted him to the dark side. Although Ventress sensed his fall, Vos refused to believe his own darkness and was again sent to kill Dooku by the Jedi Council. She joined him on this final mission, but it was met with failure when Vos gave himself fully to the dark side, intending to kill both Dooku and his elusive master who orchestrated the Clone Wars, Darth Sidious. Ventress reluctantly helped Vos and Dooku in fleeing from Jedi pursuit, but refused to embrace the dark side again. Instead, she felt the light side throughout her being, and sacrificed herself when Dooku attempted to kill Vos with Force lightning, absorbing the blast to protect her lover. Her apparent death finally motivated Voss to renounce the dark side and surrender to Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and she was honored for her sacrifice by the Jedi Council. Ventress's body was later laid to rest in the waters of her clan's village on Dathomir. However, she lived on during Clone Force 99's struggle against the Galactic Empire. What did you think of the latest episode of The Bad Batch? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video and subscribe for coverage of The Bad Batch Season 3 as a new episode premieres every week. And remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.